Hello fellow colorists, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jody and today we are going to revisit a hashtag that I actually completed last year at this time. So I'm actually going to link that video in the description of this video because I think it's kind of interesting to go back and see what my answers were from a year ago and what they are today. So this is the mid-year freakout tag that was started by Sassy Colorings and has been updated a little bit by a purpose picture, and I will link both of those channels below. I will include the questions though in the video description, so if you want to complete the tag or just read over the questions yourself, they are there and you're welcome to answer them in the comments below if you so choose. I'm always interested in seeing other people's, what their thoughts are and their answers. So I have been watching quite a few other YouTube channels and their mid-year freakout tag response. So this is mine. I have not been tagged by anybody, so I am just doing this on my own and I am not going to tag anyone else. But if you have a channel and you want to participate, by all means, just go ahead. All right, with that in mind, let's flip to my page where I have all of the questions printed out. Okay, so I have pulled up my Creative Companion for 2023, and these are the mid-year freakout questions for 2023. The current 2024 questions are different. There are 15 questions here. There were 10 previously, so not all of the questions are the same because they have been updated. So I will go ahead and give you my answers for the current year, and if there's anything pertinent to last year that I think is interesting, I'll include that as well. So first question is, how many pages have you colored so far in 2024? And I am doing it up to July 15th, and this question was not one that was in 2023, so there's no comparison, which is a little bit unfortunate because that would have been an interesting one that I would have liked to know. And I have done 130 pages so far to July 15th, and that's pretty good. I'm happy with that number. I never have a certain number or goal to complete, and of that 130, I thought it would be interesting to know how many were buddy colors. So there were 38 buddy colors, and I just want to say thank you so much for all the people that have buddy colored with me. I do limit my buddy colors to 5 a month, so 38 is pretty awesome. And I would like to welcome anybody who wants to ever buddy color with me to go ahead and feel free to contact me and on Instagram or email me at jicolorist@gmail.com, and we can set something up for the current month or the future months, just depending how many I've already got booked up. So I'm always happy to color with somebody new. This year I have done quite a few buddy colors with brand new people, brand new subscribers to the channel. So just want to again say thank you and welcome to everybody to the channel. All right, so the next question is, how many books have you colored in so far? I went back and I did little tick marks to figure that out, and that question was not one from last year either, but last year's question was, what is your most colored in book of 2023? And my most colored in book in last year was Sea of Colors with 12 pages, and that also has been a book that I have colored in quite a bit because it is on my 5 books to complete for 2024. So far I have colored in 40 different books, so 130 pages in 40 different books. So obviously there are quite a few books that have multiple pages in them. My book selection or book library at time of filming is 86 books that I have not either colored in or completed. So I have very few uncolored books. I have 13 completed books, and so once a book is completed, it comes out of my current inventory. So right now I do have 86, but I also have, I believe, 4 books on their way. So still well under 100 books, and that is still plenty of books for me. It says number 3 is favorite completed pages for 2024, and so I'm going to show you a few of my favorite pages. And I thought it was interesting that the pages mostly are coming from my Korean books and also from the series that I am currently doing, and that is grab the books. So I have this year decided to purchase a couple of the Korean based books. So this one is Green Ivy, and it's nostalgia, and I did this page while away and when I was in Palm Springs. And so this page is done with a limited color palette, and I'm just really happy with how it turned out, and the water bubbles effects that I got. I was using some aqua watercolor pencils and a little bit of Staedtler pigment pens. So yeah, I had to do the little cherries on her dress and the polka dots and everything. So this is what the inspiration page was, and this is how I did. So just a fun picture that I really liked how it turned out. The page didn't buckle too much, so it's quite thick paper. So I was just happy to get started in nostalgia. So that was one simple but fun book. Then I have this The Forest Girls, my first opal book, and I did this page. So here's the inspiration page, and then this is the page that I did. And again, you have to do the designs on the her skirt. Really like how the color turned out. I used some washi tape to tape off the border, and then I used the Tim Holtz distressed crayons for the background. I'm really happy with how that came out, and they were the first time I was using those, so that was even a better result than I could have expected. And then again, I used watercolor pencils for the flowers, and that was again that was in February of 2024. So again, while I was away on holidays, so again with just limited supplies, and I was really happy with how it turned out, and I was happy to have a page done in this beautiful book. So those are my Korean books that I started new this year. And the other books that I liked, or the pictures that I really liked, were, this is the current month's picture, and this is from Astrology Coloring by Anna Jaron, and I'm doing a astrology animals, so the zodiac animals, so one animal every month that represents the zodiac. So this was July, so really happy with how that turned out. And the other ones again were animals, and I really like how this one turned out. And this was just last month, so for June, and it was seahorse page. Really happy with the background and the seahorses, and there are videos for both of those. So that was another picture I really enjoyed. And I have not usually an animal person, but these have really been doing well. And then this kind of started off my whole series. This was way back in January. So this is the first zodiac animal that I did, and it was owls. And so there is a video on how I did the owls, and I'm really happy. And this is also, so this one is Secret Worlds, Magical Color and Search Journey. So it has those annoying objects in it. So I have gone and I left a few objects that kind of suited the, what was going on the page, but other objects I covered up with black acrylic paint. And yeah, so I used a lot of polychromos, some Staedtler pigment pens, Pit Artist pens, and acrylic paint. a little bit of gold acrylic paint, some glossy accents on his eyes. So yeah, so there is, again, like I said, videos for each of these animals, and there's actually a playlist for all my series. So I'm really pleased with this. Plus, it was hard for me to actually get in and work in this book. So I've only done a couple of pages in this book, and they both seem to be owls. So owls are one of my favorite animals. And yeah, so those are 5 of my pictures that I'm really happy with. And I think I'm happy with them because I feel like I've grown in my coloring. Okay, next question is the least favorite completed coloring page. And that actually, it was quite easy for me to decide, because there is a page in Small Victories that I did, and it was a buddy color, and it wasn't anything wrong with my buddy, and it even isn't anything wrong with this coloring here, but it's my background. So I started out with a stencil, and I did some painting with the stencil, and it just went horribly wrong. So then I covered it up with metallic acrylic craft paint, and so that part turned out okay. But I also had this washi tape down, and it kind of, you see the stencil part underneath showing through the washi tape, so it did not turn out the way I wanted it. And that's when I decided that the Small Victories should just be concentrated on the image itself. And so I am trying very hard not to do a background in these books. Sometimes I've done a little bit of a background, but otherwise I am really trying hard just to leave it alone. So sometimes I just can't help myself. I did a few clouds there, but this one I really forced myself to just complete the image and then walk away, because I didn't want this to happen again. So sometimes less is more, and this is my least favorite page of 2024. Okay, the next question is, what is your most colored in book in 2024? And I have 5 books that I'm concentrating on to complete in 2024. My answer for 2023 was Sea of Colors, and I certainly have done quite a few pages in that book as well. However, the book that's winning is the Lulu Mayo A Million Cute Animals, and that's because I have done 32 pages as of today in this book so far. So I've actually flagged all the pages that I have left, and I am currently working on One Book July, and I'm concentrating on this book itself. So like I said, I have gotten 8 pages done this month. So here's a sneak peek to one of those pages for this month. And another sneak peek, because I did post this one on Instagram. So I am quite happy to color in Lulu Mayo books. I don't have a problem with the paper. It's the same paper that everyone else has, so it's not that coming to Canada you get a better quality paper. But I have found a few things that work really well in the books, and so I haven't been having a big problem. I do like the polychromos in this book. I like the 4 Candies mechanical waxy pencil. I like to use glitter Mod Podge. A little bit of pigment, like the Staedtler pigment pens work great. The Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens work okay in small areas and as long as you aren't going over them. But I don't have bleed through issues in these. And yeah, so if you are going to use a lot of, like this is sponged on acrylic paint, so no problem. This is watercolor, and again, no problem. So I think you just have to keep in mind that this is non-sized paper. So if you're going to be doing watercolor stuff, like this is some ink tents in the background, you just don't want to be using a lot of water, and you may want to activate it on the, transfer it to a palette and then bring it onto here. So sorry about the noise from outside. But yes, this is A Million Cute Animals, and so far I have done 32 pages left, and right now I have roughly 23 pages to go before finishing this book. So we'll see how I do by the end of the month. Okay, next question is what is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? And I would have to say Maria Trolle. And my answer from the last year was a Joanna Basford Small Victories. So it's funny that my most anticipated book for last year is also my least favorite page for this year. I thought that was a little bit funny. But I'm looking forward to any Maria Trolle book that comes out. I did just get the Starfall book, so you're going to get a sneak peek at this. This is The Shooting Star by Maria Trolle, and this is a hardback book. This just got published here in North America. It's got quite yellow paper this time, so it's not her normal paper. And also at the back we do not have her index of plants and animals, so I'm not sure what the deal is. There's also no numbers on the pages, but sometimes there aren't on her books. But so it'll be interesting to see how I like this book, and it might not have been such a good idea to wait for the English copy. I maybe should have just ordered the Swedish copy when it came out, because I'll show you her other books just to compare. So quick comparison, this is my Maria Trolle Universum book that I bought, and it's the Swedish version, and it has lovely thick paper. It has numbers on the pages. It has at the back, it has the registered guide for both plants and animals, and so you can see the color of paper, and then compared to the new book, you can see that the paper is quite a different color. This is very much more orangey cream. Like, it has a definite darker cast on it. Like, it's a totally different color, and it might not be showing up well in camera, but I think you can see the difference. So it'll be interesting to see how I like the this one was obviously printed. Let's see. So this one was printed and bound in China. So that's interesting. And this one was printed in Europe somewhere. So interesting. So I'll let you know my final results after I start coloring in here. But in case you have a book by Maria Trolle, I'd be interested in what you think of this new paper. She has a new book coming out later in the year, and I'm always interested in having a look at her books. I love her illustrations. Question number 7 is, have you tried any new coloring techniques this year? And I did try using the soft pastel pencils by Colour, and so I have a 24 set, and I have not used them an extensive amount, and so I did try them as part of a coloring roulette challenge that was February's coloring roulette. So there is a video on that, but the challenge was to use 5 specific colors in only the pastel pencils, and so I did this on screen, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I used the watercolor Woodland Watercolor by Claire Teresa Gray. So it is printed on 200 GSM watercolor paper, so it had quite a bit of tooth, and I thought that would work best for pastel pencils as opposed to like a normal coloring book that doesn't have a lot of texture on it. So this is the page that I did. Really happy with how it turned out. Happy how I got some blending in. And yeah, so you can check out that video if you want to see how this came together. But really happy with finally getting to use a supply that I do not touch very often. And that's also kind of my goal for the year, is to use up some of my supplies, or get to some of my supplies that I don't use very often. So happy to have that in. And that is what I'm saying is my new coloring technique this year. Question number 8 is there any coloring books that you regret purchasing this year? So that question was also last year's. Last year's regret was Extreme Coloring Tattoos, which is still a book that I have not colored in, so it may be going into my giveaway or de-stash pile. But this is the book that I'm actually disappointed in purchasing. It's Tiny World's Secret Wonders, and it's by an illustrator called Clara Kosleva Silva. So I've probably butchered that name, so I apologize, Clara. But I really liked Tiny Worlds by Matt Edwards. So as soon as I saw Night of the Tiny Worlds, I didn't even check to see who the illustrator was. I assumed it was Matt Edwards, and I picked it up. And I like the idea of Tiny Worlds, but I haven't bought any of the other books that are currently out. And that's because it's just so small. I did one page in here for ice cream for the Oreo cookie day, and this was probably one of the pictures that had the biggest chunks of spots in it, and they were also really tiny. So you need to either use fine liners or super thin gel pens perhaps, or I've used some gelatos and stuff and a little bit of gel pen. But yeah, super tiny, so just harder to so have not come back to this book. Like, my goodness, like look at those tiny leaves. I mean, you're just gonna have to do a wash of color for that, because that's, and then the garden is like microscopic. So I'm getting older. Maybe my eyesight isn't what I thought it once was, but yeah, so a little bit disappointed in the book and the illustrations themselves. I do like I said, I like the concept of Tiny Worlds, but I just don't think that we need to have them so small. I think you can do a picture of something small without having it be small, so if that makes any sense. So this is my one disappointment, not totally regret, but a disappointment. I should have looked at it before buying it. All right, and there is a full flip through of my on this book on my channel if you want to see it for yourself. Next. Question number 9. What coloring books do you want to finish by the end of the year? And if you follow my channel, you know that I have 5 books to complete in 2024. So I'll just show you 2 of them that are getting fairly close. One is A Million Cute Animals, like I showed you earlier. And so this book has, like I mentioned, I think 23 pages left in A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. This is the other book, and this is Sea of Colors by Angela Gonzalez. I have 19 pages left in this book, so we are getting pretty close. I am participating in Amanda Colors' monthly group color along, but I also am doing a bunch of pages on my own. So there's still some pages to be finished in here. I will be happy when this book is done. I'm not sure that I will purchase another Angela Gonzalez book. I love her illustrations. I absolutely hate the paper. And so I find that I just want to get this book done and off of my plate. And that isn't really, it's not making it super enjoyable. So while I love the illustrations, I don't think that I want to buy another book with this type of paper. And that's just because as my coloring has grown since 2016, I've kind of decided what I do and don't like to color, and I'd rather spend my time in one of the some of my newer books that have great paper, and get those started. So yeah, these are the 2 books that I'm 2 out of the 5 books that I'm hoping to complete, and yeah, there is a good chance that you will see completed flip throughs later on in the year. Question number 10. What uncolored books do you want to color in by the end of the year? And my book collection is something that I don't just buy a ton of books, every book that comes out. I really am pretty selective about the books that I do want. I think hard before getting them. So this is a book that I picked up after I picked up the Nostalgia book, which is also by Green Ivy. This is the Beautiful Days, 4 Seasons. And the actual author isn't Green Ivy, it's Eong Lee, but everybody says Green Ivy, so I'm just sticking with that. But it is a Korean book, and it is not something that I have colored in yet, but they are delightful pictures. The paper is slightly different than the one in the hardbound book, but is still very much quality paper. It also has lightly colored, like the illustrator's lines are already colored, so these are already green and brown, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to adding color. They've got the image here that you can kind of go on if you like, and you can do what you want. I do like that all of the images over here, like the hat and the apron and the blanket, all have patterns on them, but over here they don't. So you can decide what you want to do. Either make it a simple and just color it straight, or you can add a pattern to all of those things. So yeah, it's excited to get into this book, and these are the type of books that I would rather get into rather than a cheaper Amazon printed book. Every book has its place in the coloring thing, because everyone has a different desire to what they want to color. So no coloring book is a bad coloring book. It's just we all have personal preferences. Okay, the next book or next question is, what coloring book is at the top of your wish list? And I don't really have it. There are a bunch of Korean books out there that I would love to try. I see lots of people hauling books out there that they look awesome. They look like they have awesome paper, but I have 5 Korean books and Japanese coloring books already, and that's enough for me to get a bunch of stuff done and do some of the work. So I don't really have anything at the top of my wish list. I will keep an eye on the new Johanna Basford book, and I'm actually gonna go and look through some people's flip throughs before I decide to buy it, because the 10 by 10 books I haven't been enjoying as much of late, and I haven't been working in those books. So the smaller books I seem to be enjoying right now, and that might just be a phase. But yeah, so I don't think that I have anything on my wish list. Number 12, what is your coloring supply at the top of your wish list? Okay, well, those, I do have something on my wish list, and it's because I saw a video by the Coloring Chemist here in Canada, and so check out her YouTube channel. But her and I both color with a lot of similar items, and so we both enjoy Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens, and we both love the Staedtler pigment pens. So I'll show you. So these are the Staedtler pigment brush pens, and they are a dye-based pigment. They do not bleed through paper. They work supremely well in Lulu Mayo books. You can smear them a little bit with your finger. You can blend them with other Staedtler pigment brush pens. You can blend them a little bit with water, but that isn't my preferred method of blending. I blend them with a lighter color of this, or even a Pitt Artist pen by Faber-Castell. So they have 24 new colors, so a total of 60 colors. So right now I have the 38 8 set, or right now I have the largest set that they have. However, out in Germany, they have released another 24 set, making a total of 60. So quite excited to wait for those to come to Canada. I'm not really prepared to order them all the way from Germany just to get them. So I'm hoping they show up on an Amazon or Staples near me soon. So thank you to Connie for ordering them and showing us how they work on her channel. It's because now I have full set syndrome for the Staedtler pigment brush pens. Number 13, what pencils have you used the most? Part of my plan this year was to use as many of my supplies as possible. So I have actually been doing that. And I have always fallen back to my most favorite pencils, which are the Polychromos. But I thought I would point out that I also have used my Create-A-Color Mega Color pencils. I even used my Prisma and Artex 126 series. I have used a lot of the 4 Candies mechanical pencil set. So I will show you what those are, because I use them a lot and I'm always talking about them. And that's the 4 Candies. They are a mechanical pencil. You sharpen them with a little sharpener. The little cap pops off. You insert it and you just sharpen it. So you can get a pretty fine point. You can keep getting finer. Wonderful pencils. I travel with these. I use them in my Lulu Mail books. This is the color swatch. They come with an eraser. They come with refills. So it's like getting 2 whole sets of colored pencils, because you get a full pencil refill lead. So highly recommend these if you are somebody who just wants a fun waxy pencil to travel with. So I've been using those quite a bit. I have used my Macaron pencils, my Koh-i-Noor woodless pencil, which I actually one rolled off my table and broke in half, and I was fairly devastated. So I took some crazy glue, like every crafty person, and I glued it back together. So let's hope it holds. I have also been using Derwent Inktense, and my Derwent Graphitint. So those are the pencils, but again, the most used would be my Polys and my 4 Candies. My favorite adult coloring channels, well, there are a ton of channels that I follow, so no shade to anybody that I don't mention, but I do want to mention a favorite of mine who has reached 1,000 subscribers just this year, and that is Happy Catastrophe. And that's Candace over there. I have been following her Color the Tarot series. She's just a beautiful person, and I've actually been enjoying, she's done quite a few Happy Mail videos in the last month where people have been sending her some gifts, and just she's just thrilled and so excited, and it's just nice to see the love of coloring and the whole community sharing their love with each other. So it's a really uplifting. And the other one is a new channel, so I wanted to give her a bit of a shout out, and that is Spare Room Studio, and she has been doing awesome videos lately, and she's also on Instagram, so I'll link both those channels below. But she does a lot of watercolor pencils, super tip, a lot of watercolor, so I really enjoy watching her pages evolve on her videos. So big shout out to those 2 channels. The next one is, or the last question is, adult coloring goals for 2024. And well, my goals have been all along to I don't really have a subscriber type of goal. I have been doing the checklist challenge with Cindy, my coloring buddy, so I've been working towards that. I'm not sure that we're going to get there, because there's 50 items on there, and we are not keeping up. However, I have been working towards learning how to do animals, doing the gem series, learning more about the flags of the world. So really just learning more about coloring and using up my existing supplies and delving into my stash. Use what you have instead of just always buying new shiny things. And I have really been enjoying this year's coloring. So I hope whatever you're doing in your coloring, you are enjoying your stuff. So if that's buying new stuff all the time, then and you enjoy doing that, then that's you do you, and that's okay. I'm enjoying using up some of the things that I have bought in the past and learning how to use them in different ways, mixing my mediums on my pages to make them a little bit more exciting, and just keeping the whole coloring craft as something fresh and fun to do. So I hope you had some fun listening to some of these answers. I'd love to know if you have different opinions or what your opinion is on some of these questions, because we all have a different take on where we're at in our coloring journey. I hope you're having a creative and colorful week, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, my friends. Have fun. Bye-bye.